Alright. Culture swap. Yeah.
Swap my culture.
Swap your culture. Swap my culture. We went anime. It was
We did,
cultural.
We did an anime. We did my favourite film that I watched in 2017.
So, okay, I want to preface this with my thoughts of this film, and I need you to be aware of this.
Right, quickly.
Yeah?
Spoilers. This is going to be full of spoilers.
Yeah?
And, personally, if you haven't seen this film, I really think you should go and watch it.
Okay, yeah.
Because I love this film, and I think the spoilers won't ruin it, but they definitely take away from it.
Okay. Yeah, spoilers. But yeah, before we start discussing it, I just want to say, and I want you to be aware.
Yeah, I know.
My
you didn't like it,
my thoughts on this film are not a personal attack on you.
I feel like they're going to be, but
Well,
it's fine.
no. Just I know what you're like, and I know how defensive you're going to get before I even start really speaking.
No, it's fine. I'm not going to get defensive.
I mean, that's already sounding defensive.
I'm not being defensive, Liam.
Well, I'm not convinced.
You loved the film, right? So it's easy. I don't need to be defensive because you loved it because it's a great film.
I loved some of it.
Good.
Literally one aspect.
That's
Some of it was too generous. I loved one aspect. Do you want to do
Right.
like a plot synopsis?
Yeah, basically, this film follows two characters who are body swapping in the classic body swapping style. But it's also a love story of those characters falling in love. And there's a whole other bunch of shit, but that's like the core story.
Yeah.
Go on, say whatever you're going to say.
I really like the animation.
Yeah, the animation
Oh, it's
is
beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
incredible.
I did watch it with Kat.
Yep.
She lasted half an hour.
Yeah, Kat bailed too early on this one.
I agree. I did kind of say to her afterwards, because she went on her laptop and I had to pause it at like the hour mark. And I was like, look, this is what you literally missed immediately after you bailed. And she was like, oh, it does sound... Because her reasoning for bailing, right, was she thought it was all too twee. Because the first half hour basically establishes the whole body swap aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the first half hour basically establishes the body swapping aspect. And then at the half hour mark, for some reason, they start singing. And that's when Kat was like, nah. Like,
It only sings one... It's like an intro. It's like it's a montage.
Yeah. But like, I kind of got
They
where
don't
she
start
was...
singing. It's a montage.
Yeah, I got where she was with it. Like, because the first half hour is really twee. It gets darker.
Yeah, I think it's setting up the idea that it's because it's meant to, it's like looking at teenagers in Japan, right? That's like the overarching thing is the teenage culture in Japan.
Yeah, I guess. I don't really...
That's not for the story, but that's like if you were going to look at the analysis of what this film was talking about, one of the things would be teenage culture in Japan and how you've got these, like, there's the two different lifestyles.
Yeah,
living
like
in the
there's
city
the
and living in the country.
rural one and then like the city one.
Yeah, because basically, so the main character is, well, the two main characters are Taki and Mitsuha.
Yeah.
Mitsuha's the girl. She lives in the rural area of Japan.
It's very, like, traditional.
It's super traditional. She's a shrine maiden, which is like, so she does rituals.
She
of,
makes
like,
sake, is it?
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it. Kumis something or other.
Yeah,
It's a sake that's made by chewing rice and spitting it into a box.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, I mean it's meant to be gross, but I don't think people are meant to drink it particularly.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and she has like a god
Taki.
that she has to go and like visit and stuff, doesn't she?
Yeah, the shrine god.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Shinto religion. That's sort of how that works.
Yeah.
But then so then you've got her, and then that's sort of counteracted by Taki, who is a city boy who lives in Tokyo, who is very much, the modern teenager.
Yeah.
Goes to cafes with his friends, which is a very Japanese thing.
Takes pictures of his food.
He does that less than she does.
Yeah, that's true, yes.
She is the main person doing the food photos.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, so I think there's like a very clear like look into how Japan's dealing with its traditionalism and its modern sort of lifestyle.
Okay.
That's not like my main takeaway. I think that's fair. So I think them establishing that sort of twee, like, teenage stuff at the beginning is them getting you to be like, oh, look at these teenage kids, so that you're aware it's teenagers, getting you in the headspace of it.
Yeah.
But after that...
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a lot to say about the film, so I'm kind of relying on you to lead this because...
All right, fine. That's fine. I can do that.
Yeah.
I just thought, because you were making the original point.
Yeah, no, I don't have... Like, here's the issue I have with the film, in a way, is I like it. I totally see why you like it as well. I get that. One of my issues we can't talk about yet, because that kind of plays in more towards the end. And I really only had like one kind of major issue,
Yeah.
which was just, I'll kind of explain it now, but we'll talk more later. It was just, I felt the film was building to something that I thought was really interesting and something that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Which-
Yeah. Let's save that because that leads into something interesting.
Yeah.
I think.
So that was my issue. Is it just, instead of doing what I thought would have been interesting and unexpected, it did the expected.
Okay, that's fair. All right. Fine. Right. So what this film does is it sets you up with that like initial, very like obvious body swap. You know, they have the classic gags of he's in a girl's body. Of course, he feels the boobs.
Yeah.
She gets confused because she's now got a penis. So
Yeah.
very ha ha ha.
It's pretty like standard.
Yeah, it's good. It's all there and funny, and it works. I thought the stuff that they start doing with she ends up trying to set up Taki with his boss at work,
Okay.
and I think that's quite an interesting. Like, I don't know, it's interesting because it's kind of weird in that he's not. I mean, he is clearly into his boss,
Yeah.
but like that wouldn't work ever, right? I mean, if someone else is in your body and getting you dates and stuff, they're not trying to date you.
Right.
They're trying to date that person, or that they like that person, which sort of leads into what your issue. Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry. The bit where this film gets really good, in my opinion, is after that sort of half hour. Or there's a very specific moment in the film where Mitsuha's grandmother is taking them to go to the body of the shrine god, so they can leave the sake they've made, which is part of this ritual. And there's a moment where, for the whole film, you're aware they're body swapping, no one else is. People are like, oh, it's weird, you're acting different sometimes. And they're like, oh, whatever, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But there's a moment where they're standing in twilight, which is a big point of this film. All this mystical stuff tends to happen. There's a lot of supernatural things at twilight.
Yeah.
And the grandma just turns and looks at Taki in Mitsuha's body, and he goes, oh. And she's like, oh, Mitsuha, you're dreaming. And then he snaps and wakes up, and that's the last time they body swap. And then you find out...
Which isn't true either.
It's no, but that's what they say.
Yeah, he says it, but then that is also a lie.
Yeah, it's the last time they accidentally body swap.
Okay, yeah.
Because up until this point, they've been body swapping without any control. It just happens randomly.
Yeah, it seems to happen like a couple of times a week.
Yeah, I think they say, it's twice a week.
Yeah.
So he then wakes up, doesn't swap with her again, and then goes to find Mitsuha, because he's like, oh god, it turns out I actually love her, not my boss. It all makes sense to me now.
Yeah.
And he discovers that she and everyone or most of the people in the town died 3 years ago when a comet split at its closest point of Earth and crashed into the town.
Yeah, and can I just say, that as well is, I think, probably one of the most interesting aspects, like, up until that point. You get that realisation and that discovery, and I was like, oh, because I noticed as well that we still had, like, 45 minutes of the film to go. So I was like, oh, I'm curious what they're going to do now. Yeah,
I mean, it's like, it's one of those things that's, especially on the second viewing, is really cool, because like when you're first watching it, like there are scenes where like she's talking about the comet, or someone mentions the comet to him, and he's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but okay, so one question I do have, genuinely.
Yeah.
How did she never realise that she was 3 years in the future? Because surely, like, there's TV, news, dates, newspapers.
Yeah, but if you look at their lives, what they're doing, right?
But, like, so she's leaving notes on his phone. Phones, like, the home screen has a date on it.
Yeah, but it doesn't say the year, does it?
Not on the home screen, but I'm pretty sure if you were to leave a note, it might.
I don't think it does. I don't know if it does leave it. I think if you're in the year,
it
doesn't
okay,
tell
let me
you
just
the
say,
year.
I think there's a certain stretch that you have to make to get on board with her not realising what the date is. Like, I'm not saying it's like a deliberate goof or anything. It's one of those things that when you think about it, doesn't quite make sense.
I don't know if I agree. I think if you're body swapping with someone, I don't know if the first thing you're thinking is, what year is this?
It's probably not the first thing, but because it happens a few times, I think at one of those times, she would have seen it, the date or the year or whatever. I just don't know.
I don't know if you would. I don't know how often you're seeing the date, the full date.
I don't know. Like if you were,
I don't see it. I'm genuinely trying to think of when the last time I saw 2018 was, and since New Year's, I don't think I have.
Another question then maybe is,
go on.
If you were her and you body swapped into a guy who you don't know, would you not, maybe not the first time it happened, but like second or third or whatever, would you not want to look up your friends to kind of see what they're up to and just maybe try and talk to them?
No, because she goes back into her body at the end. So come at it from the place where you're body swapping and you don't... Let's just assume, right, that she doesn't look up the date at all.
Yeah.
She never finds out, which is what happens in the film. She never finds out that she's in a different time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you look up your friends when she... Like you said, she's got a phone in her time.
Yeah.
She literally goes back and talks to her friends every time it happens. Why would you want to get in contact with your friends when you're in a different body?
To be like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, but you would do that when you got back into your body.
But if they didn't believe you or whatever, then you could be like, well, I'll prove it. Boom.
That doesn't prove anything, Liam. If I got a call from someone, genuinely, if I got a call from someone and they went, hey, I'm Liam Underwood, I would just think you were pranking me and not talk to them.
Oh, but what if, right, I'd already had a discussion with you, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, I think you're pranking me. I think you were just setting up the prank.
Right. But we have a different friendship to what she would have had with her friends. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that's one of the things that I find hard to believe is her spending, I think we can safely say at a minimum it would have been a week in total. Probably more.
It's over that.
Yeah, okay. Over a week, not knowing what the date is.
No, because she doesn't know what the date is. She doesn't know what year it is.
The year. Okay, not knowing what the year is. I just think that's unlikely.
I think that's the smallest issue you could have with this film, and I think it's actually reasonable to assume that she wouldn't have seen the year.
This is my issue. Listeners,
okay,
what side of the fence do you fall on?
So anyway, they go, so you discover that they're time swapping as well, 3 years apart.
Yeah.
And then you get this whole thing where he looks into this, like, what ended the town, realises it's this comet she's been talking about.
Yeah.
And then he has to figure out how to save her effectively by drinking the weird sake she's made.
Yeah.
And getting, like, a final body swap, effectively.
Yeah, he meets her, doesn't he, at twilight.
So they body swap, and he starts setting up this plan to save the town.
Yeah.
And then he's like, after he sets up this plan, he's like, wait, if I'm here, are you up there? Like, in this, where the body of the god is, which is in this beautiful mountain.
Yeah.
So he goes up there, and then as the sun sets, they can hear each other echoing on the mountain, but can't see each other.
Yeah.
And then at the moment the sun sets, which is called Katawari Doki in this. Katawari Doki? Yep, Katawari Doki. They swap back into their bodies and have the first moment where they can see each other. And it's fucking beautiful, Liam. And I don't care what you say. And this is the point in the film
that you cry?
Where after much research, I start crying at this point, and I don't stop for 45 minutes.
Okay. Do you want to... Why?
Because, right, so here's the thing. It's not... I think what I've got, Liam, that maybe you don't have...
is a heart.
And this is... No. See, because it's not. That's not what it is. I have way too much empathy. Like, I'm not saying, like, oh, I'm normal. I'm not.
No.
I have... Like, the reason I cry and stuff is because the level of empathy I have for characters in TV shows and films is so fucking high.
But I think that's the other thing, right? So my knowledge of going into this film beforehand was just knowing it made you cry a lot.
Yeah,
so
which is just what happens in everything.
I was naturally expecting this to be quite a sad film.
Why? You know I cry at everything.
Yeah, but, the fact that you banged on about how much it made you cry, I was expecting it to be... Which is why, when you find out, like, at the... whatever point it is, that this happened 3 years ago, I was like, oh shit, like, I get why Ellie cries about this, because that is really tragic, and I'm curious to see, like, is the next 45 minutes just going to be him kind of trying to, like, get over her or whatever, like... So, because it, spoiler alert, it ends quite positively and uplifting and optimistically, I was like, oh, okay.
Okay, well, all right, I'll try and explain, right? This is genuinely, I'll try and explain. I've thought about it, and this is me trying to figure out why it is so emotional to me, right?
Yeah.
So, the idea of there being a one, like the one person you're fated to be. So this is an interesting bit. Before we get into why it made me cry so much, we're going to have to deal with the issue you've got. So you don't like... Your main issue was that. Go.
My main issue is... okay, as I was saying before, I felt like the film was deliberately building up to something, and it would have been a bit of a, like, left field ending. I think it would have ended on a way that would have wrong-footed the audience a little bit. In the predictable, obvious thing to do, which is what it does, is you have these two characters who have done the whole body swapping thing. You still have like the 3-year gap or whatever, but eventually you have them meeting, and that is how this film ends, right?
Mm-hmm.
the way I felt it was leading you to think is I thought that the female main character who...
Mitsuha.
Yeah, in the body of the guy...
Taki.
I'm relying on you to fill in the names. She sets up a date with...
Miss Okudara.
Yeah, and her...
Miss Okudara.
Really likes the guy...
Taki.
Whenever the girl...
Mitsuha.
Is in his body.
Yeah.
So... and also, the girl...
Mitsuha.
There was a couple of lines that made me think she was also kind of a little bit into...
Yeah, there's a scene where after
I need
she
the
sets
name.
Up, which of Miss Okudara?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah,
you're talking about the scene where they swap back after she set up the date, and both of them have a moment where they say, "I'm crying. I don't know why I'm crying."
Yeah,
and
also,
then she says, "There's like a point where she's like, I wish I was going on the date."
Yeah, which I took to mean with...
Yeah, you took very literally.
Yeah, I took that to mean she wanted the date with...
Miss Okudara.
Yeah, not with...
Taki.
Exactly.
Which, in reality, what the film is saying is she's like trying to be this nice, they're sort of friends because they're body swapping.
Yeah.
So she's trying to set him up,
Yeah.
but she wants to date Taki.
Yeah, which I didn't...
And they haven't quite realised it yet.
Yeah, I did not get that at all. I
mean, the big clue to that was the scene at the end of that date where Miss Okudara talks to Taki and is like, look, there's someone else you love. You probably should have realised at that point that Mitsuha also loved him.
No. So I realised that he might have loved her.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. You should have realised at that point because they're having such parallel experiences, like the way they are with each other.
I didn't. So I was... And then at the end, you see the woman...
Miss Okudara.
With a wedding ring on.
Yeah.
And I was like... Oh, this is how he's going to meet her. And this is why I totally get why Ellie cries so much at the ending. Because imagine that you've had this like insane body swapping experience with someone. You've fallen in love with them. But in your body, they've fallen in love with someone else.
I never said I cried at the end, Liam.
No, I know. But I just kind of thought that would have been so interesting. And that's like, for the last maybe like 5 minutes, that's where I thought it was leading to. Especially once you see her with the wedding ring on. Because I was like, oh, so that's how he's going to meet her, and he's going to have that realization, and that's just like...
Yeah.
It's beautiful, but also incredibly sad. And I was like, that's also... Seeing like that kind of lesbian sort of dynamic would have been really interesting. I genuinely felt like that's what they were like laying the groundwork for earlier on. So
this is interesting, Liam, because it raises a really good point.
Okay.
Right, genuinely. So in my research of your name, which I have actually done for once, it's mind-blowing. I don't know why I did it.
Because you feel strongly about this and you want to be right about it. I really
do. I love it. No, I don't want to be right about it. This isn't even about me being right. This is just... I'm not... Because this isn't me being right. I don't particularly disagree with you on that. I think that would have been an interesting story as well. I don't particularly mind it went this way instead, but, that would also have worked. And I would have cried just as much.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of stuff in this film that... when it's translated to English, not even just translated, but like there are cultural touch points that Japanese people watching this film would get and would... So for us, it's like, oh, it's, obviously they're trying to set them up, but it could take a weird twist. There's this whole idea in East Asia, right?
Yeah.
Called the red string of fate, I think.
Yeah.
The red thread of fate.
You do see that's mentioned several times.
So she wears a red, braided cord in her hair.
Yeah.
That there's a point in the film where she, 3 years in the past, travels to find him.
Yes.
So he doesn't know her yet.
Yes.
She is really upset that he doesn't recognise her.
Yes.
But he says, "What's your name?" She says her name and throws him her braid.
Yeah.
Which he then wears as a wristband for the rest of the film, which he's wearing throughout the film.
Yeah.
Which is cool. That like whole idea of a red thread is the same as our like soulmates, effectively. Like that's the one.
Yeah.
And it's not like that could be the one. Maybe they're not though. It's a literal like the gods have fated these two people to be together. They have tied them together with an invisible red thread.
Yeah.
So a Japanese person watching this film would be like, "Oh, that's the red thread.
Yeah.
These two are going to end this film together."
Okay. Yeah, I obviously totally didn't know
to be
that
fair,
culture
I
bit.
also didn't know that until I was doing research on this, and I was like, "Oh, that's really interesting that there's like these other points." Because there's other things like there's a scene where when Mitsuha, one of the first scenes where you see Mitsuha in his body, she's talking to his friends and she says "I" 3 times.
Yeah.
Because in English we only have one way of saying "I," which is "I." In Japan they have gendered ways of saying "I," so she works her way through them, and she apparently the way it works is she goes from feminine, which is when they're all really shocked, and then she just sort of slowly eases her way through all the different eyes to get to the most masculine one.
I didn't. So the subtitles with that did say feminine, and then the next two they said I didn't know what they were.
What was that?
The next two eyes, the kind of like in brackets where it had feminine previously, I didn't know what those words were. I think they might have been like maybe like locations or something.
Oh, really?
Potentially, I don't know.
Because apparently it's meant to be, that she works her way through like the various ways of saying it.
Yeah.
And then eventually I think it's ore is the last one she says, which is meant to be like, it's apparently like the manly man way of saying I.
Right, okay.
So like, and that's like, even researching that afterwards and being like, oh, I get what they're doing now. That joke clearly doesn't land properly when you're watching it because you're not a native speaker. So I just think it's interesting that there are like things like that in this film that, because we're a Western audience and it's not something we get.
Yeah.
Like there are things that we miss, almost not even necessarily miss, because like the red string's still pretty. It's you can figure out what it's meant to represent.
Yeah,
you have scenes of it tying them together and stuff. But I don't know. I just found that really interesting. That stuff like that.
I think it's worth pointing out is I think we both watched the subtitled version.
Yeah.
Did you watch it with the music also in Japanese?
Yeah, I don't like the English versions of the songs.
Oh, I haven't heard them, but
they're good, but whenever you translate a Japanese song into English, it doesn't sound quite right.
Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah. No, it's just I know we had a discussion around this when we talked about Princess Mononoke.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to kind of for long-time listeners, just let them know that we were on the same page with this one.
Yep, subtitled. That's the way to watch this one.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Like I guess culturally it makes sense that people wouldn't have been thinking like down at least the lesbian route to bring it back to that.
Yeah.
But I just kind of I don't know. For me, like with my cultural ignorance, that's what it felt like they were alluding to.
Yeah, I think what you did there was you just misread some of the signs, which is fine and totally it's not like an issue, but like because that whole scene where she says I want to go on the date is her saying I want to be going on a date with Taki.
Yeah.
Like that is what that is.
Yeah.
But I get why you thought it was like, because there was also a bit where like even on my second watch where I was like, oh, I wonder if there is that element, but there isn't.
No. So the whole like body swapping thing for you, do you have I don't know, not maybe like a different take on it than I do, but does it resonate more strongly with you?
So no, you mentioned this to me before, and I've thought about it a lot and done a little bit of research as well into that. I was like, I wonder if there are any other parallels that I'm missing.
Yeah.
So the thing with it is, there's definitely like, obviously as a kid, I was 100% like, oh my god, if I just wake up as a girl, that would solve all my problems.
Which is exactly what happens in this film.
Yeah, but they're not. So this film isn't two people waking up in a different... Like, I really want to see the body swap film, and I'm sure there are body swap films that do it, but I've not seen them. The body swap film where two people wake up in each other's bodies and are like, oh shit, this is who I was meant to be all along.
Okay, yeah.
Because they always have the scene at the end where they're like, and we've solved it, we're back to who we are.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm like, that's cool, but I'm interested in the film where, like, two people are like, oh no, I was meant to be this person all along, sort of thing. I think that's a really interesting idea. Don't know if anyone's done it. If they have, let me know.
Yeah.
So there's some parallel in it, but they are still a girl waking up in a boy's body, which is the opposite. That's not anything to do with me.
But what about the boy waking up in a girl's body?
That's also nothing to do with me.
Okay.
Because I wasn't a boy, Liam. I'm a girl.
Yeah.
Who has
I get
the wrong
you.
hormones and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah.
do you know what I mean? That's what I mean. Like, I get it, and I can see where those parallels are drawn. Like, there's other stuff. Like, people were saying, like, there's the scene where she shouts, "If I want to become a handsome Tokyo boy."
Yeah.
Which, like, is easy to go, oh, okay, so she does want to be a boy. But I don't think it is. And he was, so someone asked Makoto Shinkai that in a interview.
Yeah.
They were like, is this film LGBT related in any way?
Yeah.
And his answer was, it isn't. Like, he didn't write it with any intention of that at all.
Yeah.
Like, but he also wasn't, but he also said that he didn't want to do the stereotypical, like, oh, how embarrassing is it that this boy is now doing the girl tasks and the girl's now doing the boy tasks, which he doesn't. Yeah. Like, if you watch the film, like, Taki plays netball and shit and basketball and in her body and isn't like, oh, I'm so embarrassed that I have to dress like this. He's just like, no, I'm going to fucking win this game.
Yeah, he's really good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like he was like, I think that's another part of the, like, modern Japan meeting traditional Japan, where in modern times, the idea of gender being more fluid is sort of more accepted now. People are starting to realise that that's a thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, so it sort of does, but it's not directly... Because, like, even the comet, someone pointed out that the comet happens to be the colours of the trans pride flag.
Right, okay.
That's totally accidental. Like, without even asking him, I just was like, no, it is those colours, but I don't think he was trying to paint a trans flag in the sky.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, like, I get why you would think that.
It was literally just because I know you've said to me in the past that, like, as a kid, you kind of just wanted to wake up as a female and no one to notice any difference, which is kind of what happens here, sort of. But I get where you're saying where not really.
Yeah, like, there's definitely stuff that, like, resonates with me more because of that.
Yeah.
But, I don't think it specifically hits any of those points, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, cool. I'm glad, because I'm bad at speaking.
That's true. As for the rest of it, I don't know. I just kind of... I thought it was fine. Like, I didn't have any major issues with it. I wasn't a huge fan of the songs.
Yeah, I don't get that at all. I don't know how you're not a fan of the songs. It's honestly my favourite film soundtrack.
I don't know. I'll take Happiness of the Katakuris over this.
Yeah, Happiness of the Katakuris is funny and amazing. Like, for me, this is the bit that's not researched. This is just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
The way the songs were written is so on point with the emotions you're meant to be feeling for that character.
Okay.
Like, the theme of Mitsuha is one of the songs, which, listening to that song gets me teary-eyed. And it's the one that plays on his date with Miss Okadara.
Yeah.
It's the one that plays when... I think it's when Mitsuha's in the town and it's getting towards when she's going to die.
Okay,
like, before he changes things. But it's just this really, like, fucking heart-wrenching song, which it kind of sounds sad, and I don't know, just the way they wrote the music. It's written by the Radwimps, who are a, like, big Japanese band, but they wrote the entire soundtrack.
Yeah, I think they also did the English version as well.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
Yeah, I remember reading
which
that.
Apparently, I read Fun Fact to Liam.
Yeah.
That's right, I'm doing a fun fact.
Yeah.
Apparently, he was asked, I just scrolled off it, Makoto Shinkai, his producer said to him, "Who's your favourite band?" And he went, "The Radwimps." And he went, "Cool, we'll sort it out with them." And just asked them, and they were like, "Yeah, okay, we'll do the soundtrack." So
that's pretty cool.
They literally got to write the soundtrack because he was just like, "Oh, I love them."
Yeah.
And apparently they were like, "Oh, we're huge fans of his work, so yeah, we'll do it."
What else has he done?
He's done Garden in Time, I think it's called, a couple of films.
Have you seen any
5
of
centimeters? 5 centimeters. I've not seen them. I'm going to though.
Okay.
He's done The Place Promised in Our Early Days. Don't know about that one. 5 centimeters per second, which I've heard of but not watched. Children Who Chase Lost Voices. Don't know about that one. And then Garden of Words.
Okay.
Which I haven't watched, but one of the characters in Your Name is in that film.
Oh, interesting.
So it sort of weirdly ties the films together. Yeah, the teacher that is teaching them about Katawari Doki, the whole Twilight thing at the beginning of the film, she's one of the main characters in Garden of Words.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of a weird thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I don't know. This whole film, man, like, I get why you didn't particularly like it, but...
No, I liked it. I thought I would enjoy it more. Not just because of, like, what you've been saying, but I've been seeing, like, a lot of positive stuff about it on, like, Twitter and stuff.
Yeah, it's just so well done. Like, watching it the second time, there were things I noticed that I was like, this is unusual for me, because you know that I usually just care about the story and I don't give a shit about how things are, like, framed and whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, watching it this time, I noticed that, because one of the whole themes is this whole, like, Twilight moment.
Yeah.
Like, so when they meet on the mountain, it's Twilight because that's when the supernatural can happen.
Yeah.
And there's... The way the film does it is the last time that they accidentally body swap, when that gets broken by the grandma saying, "You're dreaming," that happens in that exact moment. Like, the sister, Yosahara? Yeah, Yosahara. She's like, "Oh, it's Katawari Doki." And then the grandma's like, "Oh, you're dreaming." And they wake up.
Okay.
But then, so those are that's like a fairly obvious one. But at the end of his date with Miss Okadara, they walk onto this bridge, which is a bridge that comes up throughout the film. Like, that's where he goes to try and talk to Mitsuhara on the phone. That's where there's one where he sees the comet from there as well. But when he goes onto that bridge with Miss Okadara and she says, "You love someone else," and he realizes that he's in love with Mitsuhara, there's this perfect shot where he walks out onto the bridge, stops dead in the middle, and the bridge is split perfectly in half by one side being light and one side being dark. So it's like the literal representation of that moment.
Yeah.
So like the way he's tied that theme throughout the film is just done really well. So there's like the big obvious ones, but there's also these little ones that I was like amazed by, because I was like, oh shit, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And just, I don't know, so stuff like that, it's just such a well thought out film. Like, I'm going to go on about one last thing, and then
go for it.
we can move on to like the art and shit, because that's the cool stuff that you also liked.
Yeah.
But so the opening of this film is like a proper Japanese anime opening.
Which honestly lost me for the first like couple of minutes.
That's totally fine. I get that.
Yeah.
Like, I love that sort of shit, but I get why it puts people off. But it's this whole intro, and it's, you know, doing like, it's almost like a theme song to the film.
Mm.
But that opening lays out the entire plot of the film, literally, to like an insane degree. Like that opening just goes to you, this is what this film is, here is everything that's going to happen in this film.
Yeah.
Like, it's mind-blowing. I watched a dude break it down and just had my mind blown, and had to rewatch it and was like, holy shit, that's so spot on. Like, there's you have them back to back in the opening as the youngest version of themselves.
Yeah.
Then it flashes, and it happens so fast, but the version you see of him standing back to back with her after she's cut her hair is taller than her.
Okay.
So at that point, you've seen him from the 3 years before he knew her, the 3 years later version of him, which is taller than her, and her in those 3 years where she doesn't change much. But like, they're immediately going to, look, they're in different times.
Okay.
Because she hasn't changed, but he has grown.
Yeah.
Then you have them standing back to back in a different shot where it flashes through every version of them that you see.
Yeah.
Like, you get the adult version, the kid version, the in-between versions, and it shows the person behind them is fading out at different times.
Yeah.
And it's when they like split apart and have time apart from each other that they fade.
Yeah.
And their facial expressions in each shot are the emotion they're feeling in that point. So like, there's the sadness when they're adults and they know that they're missing something in their life, but they don't know what it is. And there's them as kids, like being happy because they're with each other. So like, and that's just like 2 bits. The whole opening is full of that.
Yeah.
And seeing it and knowing how the film is makes it totally different, because you catch all these little things and you're like, oh shit, that's amazing that I didn't see that.
Yeah, definitely.
Even though there's no way you would have seen it, because you don't know what you're looking for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, I just find it fascinating that he did shit like that.
Yeah, definitely.
So good.
Well, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't be opposed to rewatching this again in the future.
Yeah, honestly, I think you should, just for some of that stuff where you get to see it and you know what's happening, so you notice little bits.
Yeah.
Because I think that makes it, even though it might not improve the story or anything for you, I think it makes what Makoto Shinkai did.
Yeah.
I think it makes it way more impressive.
So you wanted to talk about the art next as well?
Yeah.
Because all I've got to say is, like, I thought it was good. That's it.
Really?
Yeah, like, it's beautiful, don't get me wrong, but like, I can't go into it in much more detail than that.
No, but that's what I mean.
Nice.
Like, this film is fucking beautifully drawn.
Yeah, but that's all I've really got to say about that.
It blows my mind that you're less impressed by some of this shit. You know, like, so you know the scene where she's doing her Shrine Maiden dance?
Yeah.
Are you not impressed by how well the characters move in that?
Well, yeah, it looks good, but
I mean, that's blows. I don't know what you want from films, mate. You're just so live action.
I think this is the problem, right? I
just don't get it.
And I think this is genuinely going to happen. When we get to doing Barefoot Gen, I'm going to be like you are now, just gushing and being like, oh my God, wasn't this amazing? And you'll probably be like me, where you're just like, it's okay, it just isn't what I get out of films. Possibly. We'll have to wait and see.
I think I'm going to love that film.
I hope so.
I think I will, because I'm not jaded with anime like you are.
I mean,
I don't know when it happened, Liam.
I
don't know when anime hurt you.
I'm not even that jaded. I think the problem is I'm very inexperienced with it, and the experience I have had with it has been not as good as it maybe could have been.
I mean, that's fine. Here's my counter argument, is that I think you are jaded, because I've seen the reviews that this film got.
You've seen
and
what?
I know I've seen the films, like the reviews that this film got, right?
Oh yeah, it's got amazing reviews.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the time when we argue, I am like, oh God, I don't know anything about films. So I feel like I'm probably in the wrong, and Liam probably knows what he's talking about.
Nah.
But when a film like this happens and your reaction is, yeah, it's all right.
No, like, okay, I liked it.
I know.
But I just didn't love it.
Other people loved it.
Yeah. A lot of people loved it. I didn't get to that level.
Yeah, I don't understand. So
Yeah.
I'm also worried that you're going to put people off seeing it.
Oh no, like, people should not be put off seeing it. It's definitely worth watching.
Because I can appreciate that you didn't that you didn't love it,
Yeah.
and I'm fine with that. I'm not going to argue with you over it because.
And I'm also want to be
it.
clear, like the only while I did talk about my like issue with it earlier, that isn't the thing that's stopping me from loving it. I just found the actual story to just be okay.
I mean, yeah, if that was the only thing that was making you not love this film, that would be weird.
Yeah, exactly. So I just want to make that clear.
Yeah, I think that came across.
Yeah, good.
But yeah, like, so this film, Liam.
Yeah.
I rated it my favourite film of 2017.
Yeah.
This is not only my favourite film of 2017. This is genuinely my favourite film.
Of all time?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
And that's after watching it for the second time and just still having all the same emotions. This is honestly my favourite film of all time.
Okay. I don't know, I think it would have worked better for me if it had been a less optimistic ending. But like you said, like the whole cultural thing that they set up, it was never going to be if you knew that cultural background.
But even then, like, I don't know, recently you've had this with a lot of films where you're like, they did this and I wish they'd done this.
It's especially when the film feels like it's leading me in a direction that I find interesting.
But that's the direction that you got wrong.
Yeah, no, I know. But like, then I just can't help but be disappointed because in my head I've already gone, oh my God, wouldn't that be amazing? I'm really excited to see that.
This is a genuine question.
Yeah.
Could it also be that you've seen so many films now that that most storylines to you are like overused?
No, okay, yeah. So this is why I've always said, and I think I've said it before in the podcast, my favourite thing a film can do is surprise me.
Yeah, because you don't get surprised by films because you've seen them all.
Yeah, it's hard for a film to surprise me, and you know, obviously it has to be a good surprise. It can't just be like some random nonsense. It's to take it back to what we were talking about earlier. Not a film, but like the season 1 finale of The Good Place surprised me, but in just a way that was so delightful.
Yeah.
I love it when films do that for me, and it kind of is like my favourite films of last year, like La La Land, totally surprised me because I just wasn't. Again, that's the sort of film that has a bit of a sting in the tail by the end. For me, watching it, spoilers coming for La La Land, just to warn people, I so wanted those two characters to end up together.
Yeah.
And they don't. And you even get a little glimpse of what their life would have been like if they did. And then it's snatched away from you. And, you know, even though the film didn't do what I really, really wanted it to do, it surprised me by having the balls to stick to that and not do it. So I had to respect it for that. And I liked that about it.
Yeah, but Your Name, Liam...
Yeah.
Does that? It does do that. It just doesn't do it the way you want it.
It didn't surprise me because I always kind of felt
Liam,
that they were going to end up together.
Yeah. But they end up together after 8 years total. Yeah, 8 years for Mitsuha, 5 years for Taki.
But I don't even think that time gap.
They also lose everything that happens in the film. Everything that happens in the film, they lose. They sacrifice that to save her.
They also don't really talk about the whole like butterfly effect of doing something like that.
Yeah, because it's not about the butterfly effect.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, that was one of the things I was like, is that going to play into it at all? Nah, it's not.
I mean, it did, because the town was saved, and so things were different.
Yeah, but you don't see any consequences because of that.
No, yeah, because that is not the point of the film. That would have ruined the film.
Yeah, but I don't know, it was just, for them to go through all that just for these two characters to end up meeting and then it ends, it was just like, is that it?
Okay. Counter-argument,
yeah.
Fuck you, you watched Before Sunrise.
I loved it.
Yeah, exactly. So fuck
Love
you.
that.
I've just thought about it.
No, because
you cannot complain that this did a love story and that it was predictable.
No, because right, it ends with them meeting and you're like, oh, is that it? Before Sunrise, again, it ends with them kind of, they have this like amazing time together that's very short. I think it's like the space of a day, but then it ends with them going their separate ways and you're left with a huge question. That does eventually get answered.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
It doesn't know, but it's not a surprise. No one was sitting there going, oh, they're going to end up together. No.
Yeah, it is a surprise.
No, it isn't.
That they kind of go their separate ways.
No, it is not.
I thought it was.
It really isn't.
And that film, it's not just the love aspect that I like, but it's the characters, it's getting to know them, it's seeing how they interact, it's the nuances of that I enjoyed.
Yeah, which you get in this film.
Not in the same way. There's no like fucking huge conversations between the two of them. I don't think, and this is probably one of my issues now that I'm discussing it, I don't think this film sufficiently shows you them falling for each other.
Yeah, I think while that is the end of the film and that is his like goal of like meeting her, I think that the more like interesting part of this film character wise is the interactions they have with their friends and the interactions they have when they are in the other person's body with their friends, like the relationship that Taki has with fucking what's his name, Tessie.
Yeah.
The like weird friendship they end up having when they're making their plan, and he's trying to be all like, it's like a weird friendship they end up having.
Okay.
Like that stuff's that's the character stuff that's interesting in this film.
Yeah, but that like it's just that to me isn't that interesting. It would be like, okay, to bring it to Before Sunrise, it would be like if the whole film was they meet and then that's like say 5 minutes, and then the rest of the film is just them talking to their friends about this person they've met. I don't care.
No, it would be like if they spent the whole beginning of the film talking about this person and then met for 5 minutes.
Yeah, again, that's different. I wouldn't like that.
Better.
I wouldn't like that.
I mean, it just annoys me when the counterpoint you have to something is just it didn't do what I wanted it to do. That's not a good.
No, but like I said, that was a minor thing. Overall, I thought it was just all right.
No, but now you're saying like, yeah, but they didn't do the character stuff the way I wanted them to do it.
Well, no, it's not that. I didn't even think about that when watching it.
No, I know.
It was just because you were
now.
comparing it to Before Sunrise. I was like, right, let me explain to you why I liked Before Sunrise. That element to it isn't present in this one, which is why that's not a fair comparison to between
Okay,
the
so
two.
So I want you to explain to me what you don't like about this film, because so far you've said that you don't like it because it didn't do that thing you wanted it to do, but that's a minor thing.
Here we go. You're getting confused again. I haven't said that I don't like the film, because I do like the film, and I've said that I just don't love the film.
Yeah, right. I apologise. Why did you not love the film?
Because it was only okay. I can't love something that's only okay.
No, but why? You can't just say that. Why? I've laid out this huge fucking researched list of why I love this film.
Yeah, but I don't know
why
how
do
to
you not love this
explain
film?
why something to me is just decent, not good.
Yeah, but there must be a reason.
I mean, the story, I guess, was only okay. I don't know, like, that's an impossible question for me to answer without going down it didn't do this, it didn't do that, I would have liked to see in this route. But I can't I'm trying to not criticise films for not doing things that I want them to do, because I also understand that my tastes are very skewed, and what I want to do would probably annoy a lot of people.
I do agree with you on that.
Yeah, so I'm not going to say that the film didn't work for me because it didn't do stuff that I wanted it to do. I'm saying that is a minor aspect. Overall, I liked it. I just don't see what the whole appeal is, I guess. Like Before Sunrise, if I remember rightly, you liked it, yeah?
It was all, and I think I said it was all right, didn't I?
Yeah, but you didn't love it.
No.
So it'd be like me going, well, why didn't you love it?
I think I laid it out in the episode.
I think if you listen back, probably not.
I think I did.
What did you end up giving it out of 5?
Before Sunrise?
Yeah.
3, I think.
Okay, so yeah, I was more favourable to Your Name.
What did you give Your Name?
3.5 out of 5.
0.5, more generous.
Yep.
I give this film 5 out of 5. I think it's fucking amazing.
No, that's and I think you've very articulately explained your feelings. I would be curious, because I think our listeners that have watched it will agree with you and think it's amazing, and I would also like to hear why they think it's amazing. Like, what is it that I'm missing here?
Yeah, I mean, I would also like to know that.
Yeah, but equally, I'm desperate for us to do Barefoot Gen, because I'm so curious if there's going to be like a reversal of roles here.
I don't think there will be, because you've told me about Barefoot Gen before.
I don't know, I might have hyped it up too much though. It might be built up so much that you're just going to be disappointed.
I don't think so.
Shit, you're going to hate it.
I don't think I will.
Well, not with that attitude.
No, that's true. We're being positive, Liam. It's 2018.
2018, yeah. And, like I said, Your Name, 3.5 out of 5, that's not bad.
5 out of 5, it's the best
That's
film
probably
ever.
the highest I've rated an anime, I think, that we've
That
discussed.
is probably, yeah.
I can't remember what I gave Princess Mononoke.
Oh, it might have tied. That might have been a 3.5.
I can double check.
Oh, because you have it all saved on your letterbox.
Exactly. Princess Mononoke, I gave 3 out of 5.
Fair enough.
So yes, we had correspondence. I reminded Kat that she hadn't written in, and while we were talking, she wrote in.
She only watched 30 minutes. I don't know how valid this is going to be.
Well, yeah, she put, hello nerds. My thought. Well, it's titled. So let me get the title out. It's Your Name, aka My Pain.
Good rhyme. Very good rhyme, Kat.
She says, hello nerds. My thoughts on Your Name are brief because I lasted about 15 to 20 minutes. It was actually 30. Before the tweeness of it made me ill. For me, personally, it felt really cheesy. That's without even mentioning the songs. Cheesy anime is not my bag. Traumatizing anime, Barefoot Gen, which I feel Ellie now has to at least try because I tried Your Name. Barefoot Gen is 100% my cup of tea. Whilst apparently the tone got darker later in the film, I'd already noped out by that point, and it's pretty unlikely I'd ever attempt to watch it again. Body swap stuff in movies grinds my gears anyway, so I was probably not destined to enjoy this. Soz.
No, body swap shit.
Is it?
This is the best body swap film because it's not just doing the standard body swap stuff. Anyway, whatever.
What other
You're not
body
gonna
swap
watch it,
films have I seen?
Fine. Huh?
What other body swap films have I seen?
No, I was talking, I don't know, Freaky Friday?
I haven't seen that. No, I'm looking to see. I don't think I've seen a lot of them. I've seen Big, if that counts.
No, that's like body morphing.
Alright. Well, I just googled body swap films and that came up. But then
I
again,
think
so
a
did
lot of
Scooby-Doo,
body-
so who fucking knows?
What's the one with Chandler Bing?
Oh, 17 again.
Yeah, that had Zephron in it, didn't it?
Yeah, I like that.
So you'll have seen that.
That was great. That was a really good one. Why is that?
Yeah,
not
I mean,
on this list?
Zephron's in it, so you probably don't have a particularly unbiased view on that one, but...
I remember Kat was ill once, and I was like, "Oh, watch this; it'll cheer you up," and it didn't, but it cheered me up.
No, yeah, but body swap like typically goes a certain way, and Your Name doesn't do that.
Well,
It doesn't. No, I'm saying it doesn't go the traditional way that body swap films go.
well,
Which it doesn't. They don't learn a valuable lesson by being in the other person's body.
well.
You can say well all you want, Liam.
I mean, they learn that they love each other.
Yeah, but not through the body swapping.
Well, that helped.
Well, yeah, obviously. But I mean, they don't learn it when they're body swapping like they do in the other films.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
you're
the body
not gonna
swapping is
understand
actually
the punchline I'm talking
relatively
about.
minor.
If anyone out there wants to just start a podcast with me called Your Name Is ... where we have a guest on every week and just talk about your name with them, I'll start it with you.
I wouldn't listen to that. I'm not gonna lie.
I know you wouldn't. I don't want you to.
So, are we gonna title this episode "Your Name Is ... average-ish"? Better than average.
No, I get to name the episodes, so it's being called Your Name Is the Best Film Liam's Ever Seen. Don't listen to this episode. Just trust Ellie on this one.
Right. Okay.
Liam loved it.
Well,
5 out of 5.
Well, I think 3.5 is generous enough.
Everyone disagrees with you.
Let us know why.
What are we watching next time, Liam? / not watching, reading.
We've decided to do a graphic novel because it's been a while, and we're doing The Wicked and the Divine, Volume 1.
Neither of us have read it.
Nope.
Got no idea if it's going to be any good.
Nope.
But we'll find out.
Yes. How do people get in touch?
They can tweet us at nerdonnerd. They can email us at nerdonnerdpod@gmail.com. They can Facebook message us at facebook.com/nerd-on-nerd-pod. Or they could, if they wanted, Liam, they could even leave us a review on iTunes.
Yes.
I think you could leave a message with your review, so that's kind of like you communicating with us.
Yeah, it would be sweet if you did that.
It'd be helpful because we'd be at the top of the charts. Imagine that.
That would help us,
I
and
don't think we'd get to the top, but we could maybe get onto a chart.
that would be helpful.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, help us do whatever we can to start getting money before I go blind, please.
Yeah, I don't want to play the sympathy card, but Liam needs money, so help us.
Yes. And it's for a good cause, really.
Yeah, I mean, I'm taking 50% of it, so...
Yeah. But, which
But
just
that's my
means we
transition.
have to make twice as much.
There you go. My transition, Liam's eyes, look at how much we need money, guys.
About 2 million. And that's American.
I need less than that, I
So
think.
that's dollars. So, Thanks for helping.
Any final thoughts, Liam?
Don't want to go blind.
Bye.
Bye.